Some why questions seek actual answers. Others, like the opening sentence in Psalm 2, express shocked disbelief. If I could sum it up this way, why do the world's leaders rebel against God? This question is more of a heart cry than an actual seeking for answers. The psalm doesn't answer the question, but it does engage the problem. And it's a problem that we face in our day too. Humans are bent against God's wise authority. And godless rebellion, with its false glimmer of impressiveness, can make us afraid. The psalm counters with 5 vigorous divine responses to human mutiny. God's first response is not what we might have expected, but exactly what we need. He laughs. Human rebellion, from God's perspective, is comical, like a Chihuahua picking a fight with a Pitt Bull. Ridiculous. But only the mismatch is funny, not the actions of the rebels. Eugene Peterson describes a shift in God's responses. At first, he's amused at their presumption. Then he gets good and angry. Verse 5, he says this, the psalm says this, "He will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury." The Lord has established a king on his holy hill who cannot be conquered by any rebellion. At the coronation of this king, God's own son, God promised him the nations for an inheritance. The king will break resistors with his iron rod, shattering them like clay pots cast to the ground. But there is another way. Christ will rule with gentleness those who lay down their arms and swear allegiance to him and his cause. Psalm 2 is a warning, a call to a wise, measured response to God's supremacy. Sinners can fear Christ now, honoring his glory, respecting his wrath, and actually find joy in his rule, verse 11 says. Or they will face the full weight of their deserved punishment. The way the psalm phrases the offer of surrender is beautiful. Verse 12, "Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way." God has no patience for rebels, but he blesses those who flee to him. Perhaps to no surprise, Psalm 2 was beloved by early Christians. They treasured how it previewed the treachery and defeat of Jesus' foes in Acts 4, verses 23 through 31. God's Son will be victorious. In his suffering and return to glory, struggling believers find just the comfort they need in a broken world, as we learn in Acts 13:33, which also references Psalm 2. The book of Hebrews, also drawing from Psalm 2, teaches us that if angels are ministering spirits, Christ is a more excellent protector and the only source of eternal salvation. Let's listen to Psalm 2. "Why do the nations rage and the peoples plot in vain? The kings of the earth set themselves and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying, 'Let us burst their bonds apart and cast away their cords from us.' He who sits in the heavens laughs. The Lord holds them in derision. Then he will speak to them in his wrath and terrify them in his fury, saying, 'As for me, I have set my king on Zion, my holy hill. I will tell of the decree. The Lord said to me, you are my son. Today I have begotten you. Ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance, and the ends of the earth your possession. You shall break them with a rod of iron and dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel. Now therefore, O kings, be wise. Be warned, O rulers of the earth. Serve the Lord with fear and rejoice with trembling. Kiss the Son, lest he be angry and you perish in the way, for his wrath is quickly kindled. Blessed are all who take refuge in him."